In the last video, I showed you guys how to find slope by looking at a graph and by counting how much the y's go up and down versus how much the x's change. There's a formula for slope as well, which is given here, and it should look familiar to you guys. First of all, slope, the variable we use for it, is a lowercase m. So this means slope, if you didn't already know that. The two formulas, ways to think about it, it's either delta y over delta x. Delta means change. So this is saying how much the y is changed, change in y, over how much the x is changed, or change in x. The other option is you can subtract your y's. That'll tell you how much changed over subtracting your x's. Typically, I like to use this second part here, but either way is fine. So I gave you 2 points, and I asked you to find the slope between them. So what we're going to do is, it's often helpful to label your points, especially at first. Here's my first x and my first y. There's my second x and my second y. And now I just pop them in the formula. y2, so my slope is going to equal y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. Notice I put minus a negative 1 right there. So when I do that, 4 minus 2 is 2. 3 minus negative 1 is 3 plus 1, which is 4. And I can reduce that. The slope of that line is a 1/2. Now, if you notice those 2 points right there, they should look familiar because on our last whiteboard here, we found the slope of those 2 points on the red line. All we did is we counted right here. We got a 1/2 for our answer. Same 2 points. So the formula works just as well as counting out a graph. It's just a matter of whichever way you like doing it. If you wanted to, you could have drawn those 2 points on a graph and then just counted slope instead of doing it like that. So I'm only going to show the one example of slope because we'll get more practice in class, and I think you guys have probably seen it before. I want to finish off this video though with talking about a little slope vocab. So we're going to talk about in this segment types of slope. So when you have a positive slope, the first type of slope is called positive slope. A positive slope is when you get a positive number, like right here for your answer. When your slope is positive, the lines will go up from left to right. So if you're looking from left to right, the line is increasing, it's going upwards. That's a positive slope. If you have a negative slope, it's going to be making your line go down. So a negative slope would look something like that. From left to right, the line is going downwards. The next type of slope is called a zero slope. And in a zero slope, you're going to have a horizontal line. So it would look something like this. The reason this is a zero slope right here is because if I put 2 dots on my line right here and I count rise over run, I go up 0 over 2. Like if I did those 2 dots, that'd be 0 over 2. And if you do that slope, you're going to get 0. And our last type of slope that we can have is either called no slope or undefined slope. And that is going to be a vertical line. So that looks something like this. Make that a little nicer. So just a vertical line would be undefined slope. So the reason it's called that is because if you do your 2 points right here and you do rise over run, rise we went up 1, run we didn't go over at all. If you type 1 over 0 in your calculator, it's going to say error. That's not allowed. So it's not, there's no slope. It's undefined because you can't actually do it. Silly way to remember this and keep these 2 straight, because kids will mix up which one is zero slope and which one is no slope. Picture if you were to be like on a little, like I don't know, if you were standing, this is like a mountain or something like that, and you're a little stick figure here and you fall off, you're going to say no as you fall down. So it's no slope. So that's kind of ridiculous, but hopefully it helps you keep them straight if you didn't already know them.